don't be offended by the truth. They be offended because you called out the truth. Simple as that. They don't want to hear any other narrative that makes them look bad.
One thing I can't stand at this big grown age is somebody who acts like cause and effect does not exist. Like, yes, your actions caused this outcome. Yes, what you did lit the match. Like, why are you surprised and playing victim?
Guys, Chico, they never lie.
That's how you know somebody doesn't respect you. They listen to reply, not to be understood. They cut you off. They minimize what actually matters to you. They laugh at your boundaries, and then they call you sensitive when you try to hold the line. They show up late, they cancel last minute, forget the things you've told them, because in their world, your time, your energy, even your voice aren't a priority. They're just an option. You see, there are two kinds of people. Those who adjust when they realize they've actually hurt you, and those who expect you to adjust so they don't have to change. You don't need to be disrespected loudly to be disrespected deeply. Sometimes you'll see it. It's just in their tone, in their patterns, in the silence after you're known. Respect isn't what they say when they're watching. It's how they act when they think you'll.
Yo. Good evening, folks. Peace and blessings, glory, praise, and honor to the Most High. Happy Monday. Hold on a minute. Let me get that out of the way. Pardon my French, man. I hope all is well. I hope you enjoyed your weekend. I hope you started your week off the way that you wanted to. Thank you for being here this evening. Shout out to my poets, writers, content creators, so on and so forth. I got Rob in the building this evening. You see the title. Do me a solid. Like, share, repost, let the people know that we are alive. Let's get into this this show and chop it up. Let me bring everybody up on the big screen real quick. Yo. What up? Sound check. How is everybody doing?
Happy Monday.
What
up? Happy Monday.
Yeah, let's get it.
First, I want to say to both of you, congratulations on separate projects y'all got going on. I see you got your website running. Salutes to you. And I see, Coach, you got your thing going on too. Real quick, if y'all want to plug that, man, you more than welcome to.
Go ahead, Coach.
I ain't hear you, man. You I think I'm my reception was bad. What you say?
I was just saying, man. Congratulations on the move that you made. I seen
what you talking about?
With the you supposed to be joining a podcast.
Oh no. That's my show, man. So remember I told you I was starting that men's health group.
Right.
So I started the men's health group, put it out there, and then within a week, about 59 people signed up. You know what I mean? And then after that, I was talking to some people about what I was trying to do. You know, I had pitched it to you first. You said you had to think on it. And so then I had talked to a couple of other people, and I got invited to have a TV show on a platform based on that right there, what we was talking about. So, but yeah, I was going to talk to you about it, man, offline to see if, we can work on some stuff,
It's all good, man. Like, again, congratulations, man. Like,
yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, that's a big move for real.
It's for the community. It ain't for me, man, but
that's what it's supposed to be about, though, right? You know, the bigger picture. Rob.
Yo.
International Rock.
My Yeezys.
The website is here, man. How you feeling?
Oh man, I'm feeling good, man. I'm hoping because I'm chasing the rabbit, the carrot, the dangling carrot, the record sales. My dog's been like, hang it up. That's the last thing that's gonna come, and you better go get a part-time. So I'm hoping this website get me some numbers, help me do these numbers that I'm aiming to do, because I believe in the power of sales, man. You know what I'm saying? I love selling stuff. Nobody sells stuff. Nobody makes $1 out of 15 cents no more. Nobody makes $2. So I'm gonna make that 15 cent turn into $1 and then get me 2 and then double that up. So yeah, I'm feeling good, man.
That's what's up. I'm wishing you all the best, man. Look, I'm gonna go ahead and bring this up on the big screen, and so we can chop it up.
Congratulations, coach, for sure.
Oh yeah, appreciate you.
Matter of fact, send me the links so I could tap in.
Yeah, for sure. I got you.
I didn't.
Does he do it at his father's house?
I don't know what he does at that house.
Okay, I guarantee he doesn't go lay in his father's bed.
I'm not gonna speak on that because I don't give a fuck what they do over there.
Okay, well, when I get dressed, we're gonna have a conversation about it, because I'm gonna make it very clear. Because here again, you allow him to raise up against me. That's what caused the last incident. That is disrespectful. I almost hurt him.
Why?
Because that is disrespectful and he knows it. That's why he got on the floor. You don't go and lay in a motherfucker's bed. That's you're trying to establish dominance.
I don't think that was. I think it was innocent, but
that's
it was.
What you think, Jen, as a woman, and you can think that as his mother. But I'm telling you, as a man and a man of this house, I almost hurt that boy.
Oh,
and
wow.
You think I'm playing, and I'm not.
Oh. Hi, Mama. What? I didn't.
Does he do it at his father's house?
I don't know what he does at that house.
Okay, I guarantee that.
That was it right there. Mixed reactions as always with the comment section, of course. They're looking at it like he was overstepping his boundaries. He's an abusive step parent. What's your initial thoughts?
I'll say you probably missing the key context to the video, because I didn't catch it till he repeated himself and said he don't do it at his father's house. So he was the stepfather?
Yeah.
So yeah, probably missing some context, man, because it sounds like they got a little turmoil going on, and the mama's aware of it, but it sounded like she was recording to catch him in it, acting out like she was trying to use it for evidence, because she was antagonizing him the way she was talking to him, and then yeah, I'll just leave it at that for now. But it sounded like she was antagonizing him, and she knows what's going on, but she's just trying to get opinion from the public and the comment section to voice their opinion. Because initially, just listen to it, I saw he sounded kind of crazy. But again, when he said he don't do this at his father's house, that's when it all came into context.
I'm a little lost, very lost. I've never been the most logistical being able to put one and one together, but that's her son, and he was watching the movie in his mother's bed.
Right. I guess that's their bed together, and he was laying in there with her, and he ain't really like it.
Is that her biological son?
That's her biological son. He's the step parent.
I mean, unless it's funny business type, like if that's your son, you know what I mean? I don't see it. If that's her biological son, came out her womb, they laying in the bed watching the movie. I don't know. I'm lost. I gotta pass the mic till I get a little more
Yeah.
clarity.
So people are saying like he's a weirdo. He out of pocket for saying what he said to her, because like you just said, that's her son. Why he can't lay in the bed with her son? But what he's saying is, there's a history with me and him, and if I'm reading the room right, the son probably don't really fuck with him. He probably don't, and why would he? That's not his biological father, so he probably don't have much love or respect for him. And so they have their alleged back and forths. She knows, and for whatever reason, he is coming to her saying, "Look, your son is doing this intentionally to drive a wedge here. You're not addressing it. If you don't address it, it's going to turn bad." I'm with you on the initial statement though. Like, why are you recording it? And then, like, I don't understand why they do that. You record it and then you put it on Instagram and TikTok and all that. Like, this didn't seem like he was beating on her or there was an altercation and she needed to do this to protect herself. It just seemed like it was a random day where some stuff was getting heated. She felt like, all right, this is the perfect time to pick up the phone and start recording so that maybe I can get the viewers to see one side of it. I don't think there's enough here to really go off of, but that's just my initial thought.
Yeah, same, man. I mean, we're missing a lot of context. Like Rob said, ain't nothing wrong with the kid laying in the bed, but we don't got the whole story. And then the fact that she was recording it and she was playing, as she was repeating everything for clarification for the video. So I mean, again, her intentions, I don't know if they were good or not, because we don't have the whole story, but it does make him look suspect, making those type of claims and then saying, it's a man thing, and that just makes it not necessarily any better because we don't know what the man thing is. She just got video of him saying that out loud and making him, perceived to be in a not so good kind of light. So that's what happens when you get bits and pieces of information.
Yeah, I mean, I got stepchildren through marriage, and I grew up in a lot of dysfunction. So I was very antisocial, standoffish to the point where a lot of times if I disagree with people, I just separate. But one thing that I learned over time is that the biological bond often between the mother and their children is unmatched. The mother and their siblings, the brothers, the sisters, you had to leave that alone. You know what I'm saying? Especially if they're close. So I had to, over the years of being married, I learned family values and how to accept, because at first I used to be real standoffish because I just didn't know, because I didn't talk to my family every day. My family might talk once every 6 months, once a year. And at first it was new to me because it was just be like, how y'all talk every day? Y'all gotta talk every day? Like, y'all, and I had to get used to it. Like, wait, this is what normal families do. You know what I'm saying? So with that, I mean, he's a big boy or whatever, but you know what I mean? Like, say if it's my lady or something, like, and I've accepted them. They're my children now. We've been together 20 years. Yeah, you want to watch this movie? You get in the bed. You could go sleep in the bed. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nothing funny happening. I ain't finna, you know what I mean? So with that, if they're just, if he's bonding with his mom, you know what I'm saying? I don't see no reason. He probably want to get in the other side. Like, all right, come on, let's do family time. Unless, like you said, unless he don't really like the ball.
Yeah, I got the feeling that he don't like the stepfather, you come into these conversations a lot where people say you shouldn't deal with a single parent because this is one of those issues that come up. You know, you're cosplaying as this person's father or mother when you really don't care about the kid at all. They probably can tell that you don't really care about them. You just there for the person. And so either that or the kid just loves their parent and they're always going to stand by their father or mother's side. So you're always going to be looked at as the enemy. And I get the feeling that they just will never get along or see eye to eye. I could be wrong, but I'm listening to him say things like, "Oh, he's trying to set a precedent of I'm the king of this house, you're a visitor, and I dare you to try to make her choose between me and him." There are women who will choose their man over the kid, but that's not what I got here. Uh, Let me ask you a question though. Do you think he was overstepping his boundaries by saying what he said to her?
I mean, what I don't find anything wrong with what he said. Again, we don't even know what the context was. So, for the sake of having a conversation, uh, again, she was antagonizing him, obviously hitting some trigger points. So, if this is a conversation he's had multiple times, and I think we've all been in a position where somebody was triggering you intentionally. But the issue becomes if it comes down to emotional intelligence. Are you allowing them to trigger you? And it's okay to react because that's human. But once you identify when you're being triggered, then that's when the emotional intelligence piece kicks in. And then you have to de-escalate, maybe lower the tone of your voice, because from that point on, everything they're doing is ill will and is purposely intentful. So again, he knows they've had the conversation before. So what I would just say, if you have to pick out something negative just from the clip, it will be, hey, look, identify what you being triggered. This person's obviously trying to set the tempo. So it's okay to react, but once you react and then you self-identify with what's going on, de-escalate, regulate your emotions, inhale, exhale, breathe, and then you try to identify the problem and let cooler heads prevail. But everybody don't necessarily have the training or have seek counseling or coaching for those type of things. So it might be easier to say than to actually do when you're actually in the situation. But that's why it's important to start thinking about mental health for men out there. And so that way we can identify with these things when women are using those trigger mechanisms against us. And so that way you can not put yourself in a situation to be recorded and uploaded online in a bad light.
Yeah, that always make me suspicious too, to where I'm so, man, listen, I'm so happy I ain't have social media. I would not be able to be here talking to y'all. I would have been putting my business up, probably adding the locations. They call it the low. Put your low up. Yeah, I'm live right now. Yeah. Anybody could get it, whatever. So that makes me skeptical that you will post something like that, because I'm thinking normal people, first you want to get people in your business, and then to post that even after we probably would have had like a discussion, you must not really like the guy. She must not really like the guy to just post him in an IRA. I have to be very careful what I post, especially with other people in it all the time. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that would be a situation where you would post him feeling like that. I guess maybe being a boy, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, all I can talk is from a stepfather perspective, that I love my children. They're my children now. You know what I'm saying? I've been there 20 years. And me, I'd have been like, man, move over, pass the popcorn. You know what I'm saying? If anything, maybe get on your mother's side, get on the other side. But yeah, we finna watch this movie together. How you been doing? You know what I'm saying? And if the boy then that would challenge the boy, I'm thinking because the boy didn't really like it, he'd be like, well, let me go to another room, whatever. Because what I learned when it comes to the children, especially when they got a good parent who loves them, not only you don't get between that, you don't try to get between that, and you always push that person towards their children, no matter good, bad, ugly. You always make sure unconditionally that they're in a place to be supportive for their children. So I can't see no issue with if I'm coming in, they bonding. You know what I'm saying? Even if he was 30, 40 years old, that's your mother. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you're not, y'all, as long as it ain't, no weird. You know what I mean? Like, cause that does happen. I can't say that it doesn't happen, but y'all, if y'all just got a regular mother-son bond, he might want to lay there at 50 years old. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't have no problem with it, even if I ain't like it, whatever. You know what I mean? You know what? I'll be here after the movie over. You know what I'm saying? Y'all go ahead and do y'all thing, or more than likely me, I'm getting in the bed. Let's go. What we watching? What we watching? Soul. You know what I'm saying? Let's get busy.
What do you think is one of the biggest challenges being a step parent? I mean, because I don't think it's impossible to date someone who's a single parent, but I don't really believe a lot of people understand what they're signing up for before they actually sign up for it. Like, I think it's more complex than just you buying them a lollipop and a PS5 and everything is going to be hunky-dory. Like, you're not just dealing with you and the man or the woman. You have a whole another soul that's there present that's going to be looking to you for different reasons. If a person is going to do it, what do you think one of the biggest obstacles is?
Go ahead, Rob.
You answered it. The long term, you answered it yourself. You know what I'm saying? You don't think, you be, oh yeah, there ain't nothing. Until you got to be there. You got to get them to practice. You got to figure out how you're going to do the discipline. You got to deal with the emotional state, deal with the bond that they got. Especially if there's a person that pacifies their children or negotiates their children. So whatever your family style, because I did watch somewhere where they were saying some show. I wish I could cite it, but I can't remember. But they said that raising other people's children could make you psychotic. You probably psychotic. And I'm thinking, if you're family oriented, a lot of people are family oriented. Again, that's not something that I went through. So I had to grow over time. I'm still more antisocial. That's just a New Yorker me. And I still are on a skeptical side. But if people are family oriented and you grew up with a lot of people around and you grew up around brothers and cousins and this and that, a lot of times it ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no deal. But that bond though is what you gonna have to watch for, and because the you may not like everything, and I think what you said, the most important thing is now once you step in and you play that role, now you got the full responsibility. You know what I'm saying? Even if the other parent is there, like if they might be active present, but if you're there every day, you have to accept that responsibility for the safety and the well-being of that child, those children. So that's what a lot of people, it'd be fun. We was talking about a while ago, the honeymoon stage, whoop-de-whoop. Once it wear off, you know what I'm saying? Are you still down? Are you still there? So that would be the issue, because after a while, it's like you think it'd be cute for a second, but now you're taking care of a whole family, and it ain't you can't just back out, because the worst thing that happens a lot of times is those children, if you're halfway decent, start looking up to you. And the last thing you want to do is give them a body to depend on and then disappear.
Man, I'll say the hardest part, man, is probably the other parent, right? Because you may not never really know what that parent is thinking, because they probably aren't being 100% honest. They may be hoping for things to work out a certain way, but not necessarily having the hard conversations, because it's always going to be one foot in, one foot out, because you're never going to be really family unless you're having those real conversations, because the fallback is always going to be, well, he ain't your kid or she ain't your kid. You know what I mean? And then hurt people. So typically that happens in an argument. And then the natural response is going to be, well, they ain't my kid. You know what I'm saying? So without the full transparency, you'll always have that one thing to fall back on and to pull away from. I'm doing this because, you know, you don't understand how we were struggling before you got here. We don't need you. You know what I mean? So if you have to watch out for those type of things, or we'll do good without you. You know what I mean? And if you're not having those conversations and that full transparency, that's something that you'll allow them to always have. So again, man, you gotta have those hard conversations. And you gotta with each other, you gotta have the conversation with each other, and then you gotta have the conversation one-on-one with the kid or kids, and then you gotta have the conversation again with everybody together. So everybody needs to have the conversation one-on-one, establish their own individual relationships, because it's no different than you walking in the office and being a new manager. You're going to be held accountable for whatever the last dude did or didn't buy. You know what I mean? He said all flats. He got drums. I hate him. You know what I mean? It don't matter. So you got to have the conversations, man, because whatever happens is you got to make sure that they're not holding any resentment from somebody from the last iteration of who you was supposed to be in that shoes that you're filling. Because you know you're not the first. Hoping you may be the last, but you're definitely not the first. Because the reason why you're not the first, even if there was no other dude in between you and the pops was first, or the mom was first. So they always have that reference point. So that's why you have to have those conversations, man. And then I think people, they underestimate the mind of these young folks. So they try to hold information back and try to have secret conversations. When I say secret, I mean adult to adult, not including the kid. And then now both adults are thinking on behalf of the kid. And then when the kid acts out and doesn't engage the way the two adults envision this workshop to go, because the kid has his own mind and shit they've been doing behind the scenes that they don't even know about. And then you enter them into the equation, and then now you're talking about personality, you're talking about whatever the case. None of it's a recipe for disaster for everybody. It's never going to work out. You got to have the conversations. You got to have the real conversations, and people don't do that, man. So that's why a lot of step parents, step dads, you know, end up being left out. They try to raise the kids where they think their version of a man is, might not be the same way that woman was raised by a man. So now you got conflict and resentment going on right there. My dad would have did it this way. I don't know your dad. You know what I mean? Where I'm from, blah, 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 blah. So you got so many other things, man. That's what I'm telling you, man. This conversation go anyway, but to wrap it up is you got to have conversations. You got to have communication in both parties. As every time I always say, man, you got to ask the hard questions and you got to answer them. Because if you don't, somebody's lying. Somebody's lying. You know what I mean? And then the shit already started off on the wrong foot. Go ahead, Rob. Get it.
Oh, yeah, it's got to be a mutual respect, too. Because you're right. There's different parenting styles.
Absolutely.
A lot of the new age parents, they negotiate with children. They got their ways. They got to.
What? No boundaries? You know, they homegirls and homeboys. Come on, Playboy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then we got this thing a lot of times where the mom wants to protect the boys, especially the black boys, and I understand it.
Being too hard on them. Society's already rough enough out there for
Yeah,
them.
they worried about them, you know what I'm saying? And they right, because you know who's the most targeted. You know what I'm saying? We know who's the most targeted. And they want their baby to come home. A lot of times, let them stay home. So they, you know what I mean? They it's a total different, you know, and you can't, you know, because I'm like, man, I got myself kicked out at 15, like, oh, and then now I'm realizing, like, wow, it wasn't supposed to be like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta, and then these new era kids, you gotta keep your hands on them till they like 30 now. You know what I'm saying? Like us, that one post where the guy is like, our parents didn't care about us. They told us to just come in before the light came on. Ain't no telling. They wasn't looking out the window or nothing. Man, we was all over the city wilding, you know what I'm saying? Tagging up, stealing, Now you gotta, these new kids, you gotta keep them. Like, you almost want to keep them in the house till they're like 28, 29. You know what I'm saying? Because the way things are set up. And what you should be doing too, because that's what every other culture does. Every other culture, yeah.
I'm about to plug in right when you said that. I was just about to plug in. Go ahead, finish it. Go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? You can stay here till you go to school, till you save up enough money to buy a house. We're gonna save up. We're gonna start you with a business. Our families, especially up north, man, you getting out of here as soon as you can get a job, man. You gotta go. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, and that's the crazy piece, right? Like you speak to Hispanics, Asians, or whatever. They put their kids on a mortgage. That way they establish some credit. You know what I mean? You got 6 people busting down the rent. $400, then they pay the freaking house off in 10 years. And then what they do, 3 more people go move to another house and they do it. Boom, move to another house. In the community, you got to be out of here by 18. What the hell you done figured out by 18? You know what I'm saying? You ain't got no job. You just now getting into doing something because you've been sheltered or whatever the case may be. You know how that goes. And we set our people up for failure, man. And you look at these other, you know, they speak one language, English. You know what I'm saying? They was the ones complaining about Bad Bunny yesterday because nobody's speaking the Spanish or the Spanglish. You know what I mean? Number 2 business language in America, but we only speak English. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, man. So it goes back to the mindset, man. Again, man, my bad, Rob. I didn't mean to steal your time, man. You had a good ass, dope ass point, though. My bad.
You wavy, bro. You good. Gravy.
Yo, my mothers, man, with their kids, it's very, very difficult to convince them that you might have a formula that works. It's not to say, oh, what you're doing is wrong, but you might want to try what I'm offering here because you're going to just naturally be softer on the kid anyway. You're supposed to be nurturing. There's things that you just can't. You're not a man. You can't teach kids how to be men. You can only do but so much. You dealing with a single mother who is used to doing everything herself, and she hasn't figured out how to let her guard down because her choices in partners haven't been the greatest. So she's constantly like, I gotta have that guard up. I can't let anybody else come in and do things here and move things around because the last time I did that, such, and you said it earlier, those type of traumas, man, if they ain't healed from it, they'll carry it over to the next person. And I don't think anybody wants that. That part you said about Hispanics and Mexicans and stuff like that, they cheat. They had their stuff too, but one thing about them, they respect their culture. They know how they raise their kids a certain way. Like they don't really drift off from it. You see it happening, but you don't see it happening too much. They still kind of lean towards that community. You know what I'm saying? And I don't see too many stories about Hispanic step parents. most of them are usually highlighted under black. I don't know. That's to me it's like the communication is definitely not there. The respect has to be there, like you said, and you like imagine you bringing somebody else in that's willing to do what the other person isn't willing to do, but you don't really want them to fully become that biological authority figure, but you still want them to do all of the other stuff that comes with it. Like you're basically a husband, but you don't have the full title of husband or the full title of parent. So I can pay for everything. I can do the birthdays. I can buy the lunches, the uniforms, do all that stuff. But the disciplinary stuff, you absolutely can't do that.
Man, why are you still there? Ain't nothing for me. I can't entertain hypotheticals where people don't have common sense and good judgment. I'm not here to speak on behalf of people like that. If you're in a situation like that, that means you don't know your value and your worth. So, and there's probably nothing anybody can do to help you because you've probably been there about 10, 15, 20 years, and you're probably in debt, and you're probably there because of all kind of unfortunate circumstances. But if you're getting ready to go into a situation like that, you have to know your value and your worth. And this is where people get it confused. They'll say, I'm not going to let anybody do whatever for my kid or whatever the case may be. You're not treating somebody like a man. You're not treating somebody like a woman. You're just trying to be a good person. And then within doing so, you should try to understand how those people want to be treated. And then they should understand how you in turn want to be treated. So that way they can reciprocate those things. So that's why it goes back to communication. You said, I don't know what your version of a man is. I don't know what Rob's version of a man is, but I'm sure everybody's got their own version. And on top of everybody having their own version, you can't expect a woman to know everybody's version of a man if you aren't communicating what type of man you are. And for how them to take care of you, to reciprocate to you. And this is where a lot of women get it wrong too, is you might have loved that last man a certain way, but that don't mean I want to be loved that way. So again, we keep talking about these general titles saying like a man, like a woman. Try identifying with the person that you're with and how they like to be communicated with and how they like to be loved. You can't love me or treat me like a man because that last version of whoever you were with, that might not be who I identify with as a man. So that's why you got to be careful for using those type of terms, man. And again, it's about communication. Because if it ain't about communication, then how are we supposed to figure out what your definition is? You was raised with no dad, a mom that didn't teach you how to love, and you talking about treat me like a man. What man? Somebody you saw on BET in a video gyrating or doing something? I mean, again, it comes back to your perception and your perspective of what exactly it is you're talking about. That's why you should be having these conversations. Hey, listen, whoever the hell you're talking to, this is who I am. Ask the questions. The person that controls the questions controls the conversation. Ask those important questions. And if they aren't asking them back, then you should be saying, hey, I just asked you this. Why don't you care about why? You know what I'm saying? So if you're holding people accountable from the time that you're having a conversation, you're going to either identify, I don't want to be with this person, or this person don't want to be with me. Again, you have to ask the questions, man. You have to have the conversations, because if you're walking in, just like men do, having sex with somebody, you assume the same woman want to be pleased the same way the last woman was. You assume she want to be talked to the same the last woman was talked to. She want to be complimented the same the last woman was complimented. You're meeting a whole new person. Anything you've done with anybody else, that shit should be left with anybody else. You're meeting a whole new person. Now you have to re-identify and talk to this person. This is why I say you can't serve two masters. You go to work every day, you go apply for a new job, you got to figure out what the mission statement is and what the motto is of that company. You meet a new person, what makes this person happy? What makes this person interested in certain things? What makes this person laugh? You can't take the same stale ass jokes you use with the last person and take it to this person. So again, biological kids, step kids, it don't matter. They're kids. Every time you engage with a kid, you should be rendering some type of professional courtesy. You should making sure you're not saying certain things that's inappropriate. It doesn't matter if it's biological, a step kid, a Johnny's kid. They're kids. See what I'm saying? We keep putting these things in the categories and picking and choosing when we're going to authorize ourselves to treat somebody like shit or we ain't going to treat somebody like shit. You should just be trying to be a good human. And then you don't have to worry about it. You put yourself in so many different boxes, man. You can create these problems and these personas of who we want to be. I'm real. If you so fucking real, why can't you figure it out? So, I mean, again, man, I'm just trying to say, man, is we create these problems, man, and everything's really just so simplified. You just got to treat people the way you want to be treated, man, and just treat people like good people, man. And if believe it or not, man, when you treat somebody good, it feels good. That's why you smile naturally. And then when they treat you right, they smile naturally. But you want to walk around, not you, but we walk around with these fake tough personas of how we doing all these type of things. It takes more energy to be angry and mad at nothing than to do just to sit there and just be fucking happy. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So it's the mindset, man. You know what I mean? It all starts and begins with the mind. The mind controls the body follows the mind. Rob, get it.
Yeah, I mean, I seen something one time, and I gotta start finding out where I get these little life lessons, but they said it ain't really about when you settle down with somebody, it ain't really about love. It's about the drama you able to accept, because everybody got a story, everybody come with a closet. You know what I'm saying? Some people closets a little more cleaner than others. And when all that love goes out the window when it start hitting the fan. You know what I'm saying? The family drama. You know what I'm saying? You get the, hey, do I really want to be doing this? Like, hey, you know what I'm saying? So, you gotta figure it out. Some quicker than others. Some people it might take 6 months. Some people know in 2 weeks. Some people know in 6 years. You know what I'm saying? But the last thing you want to do is wake up and say, man, I'm in the wrong space. And that could be a good thing too, because I would rather people be separate. I would rather you separate and be happy alone or find somebody else than be unhappy, stay unhappy with me. You know what I'm saying? So back to this case, the boy is a big boy, whatever. You know what I mean? But if you really love that girl, you're gonna accept what they got going on, whether you like their relationship or not. You might not like their relationship. I don't like the way she let him do anything. Look, she got him laying on my pillow. But that's her son. You know what I'm saying? He been there. So I don't know how long y'all been together, but at the end of the day, homie, I can tell you straight up, you don't want nothing to do with that. You got to leave that alone. You know what I'm saying? Go post. Like I said, I would have got in there. You on your mother's side, I'm on this side, I'm on one side, put your mother in the middle. You know what I'm saying? And let's watch this movie. You better not first person fall asleep and put hot sauce in your nose. You know what I'm saying? Hot sauce in your ears. Because at the end of the day, that's their bond. You can't really, you know what I'm saying, do nothing about that. It's just a bad, you know what I mean? But that's just me. Like I said, I don't, if it was something funny, ideally, when none of them be in the bed, you know what I'm saying? So with that, when you stepping up, you gotta, and over time, that's where coach, where you spot on, and where you have to have those conversations and have that respect so that you can make those adjustments. And that's where you could come in. You could have had that conversation without the camera, without the live. Hey, you know what? I don't feel comfortable. Woo, woo, woo. Then you might have had a better response. So that's where I feel like maybe she didn't respect him. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not something that you would just post. Me irate, wailing out, no shirt on. You know what I mean? Like, that's not something You know what I mean? Because then now you don't know what the father's gonna say, and then you got everybody in your business. You waking up, you got 50,000 comments on your thing, and it's unfortunate. What I learned is like we love, not me now. I broke it out of me. It took a couple years, but we love watching people in pain. We love even the fail videos. I'd be glad a lot of times the people don't die, but you see a person get hit by a car, like we post that, like we post person getting shot up, we post that person falls off a bike and then they break their neck. I used to eat that up, and I had to be like, yo, like what if that's me? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't, and I had to avoid it, even though it's all down my timeline. You know what I'm saying? And even last night with the Super Bowl, whatever, good old American violence. Like I was laughing with my wife. Like I need that violence. I need it. I need a good action movie. I need some foot. I need to see people cracking heads. But back to that, it's a shame that a person would even put something like that online, because now you've got the whole world in your business. And for what? Because those people don't care about you. Most people, even the closest people to you, they don't care, but they're gonna sit there and eat that up. I would have did this, and I would have, or you, like, for what? You need, you know what I'm saying? And it's bad that we need that kind of attention to thrive.
It would have been one thing if she was being honest and unbiased about what she was doing and why she was doing it. Like if she went up there and said, "Look, folks, I have my mood swings. I ain't the most perfect person. I'm combative. I don't hold X and X, and I don't do this. I have my ways. I contribute to what's happening here. What y'all do is you put the camera on and then you film specific scenarios to paint a picture of something, and then we're looking at it like, am I supposed to hate him? Or am I supposed to hate her because this is what you showed me? But this is all we have to go off." Some people they're going to eat that. Other people are going to be a little more skeptical because we got a habit of jumping to conclusions too quick. And ma'am, this brother decided that he wanted to enter in your life as a companion. I don't know what type of conversation they had. Maybe he was not really looking to be a real co-parent, and this is what he gets for being inauthentic. Like, bro, you full of shit. You was just there to crack. You didn't plan to stay that long. Now you here, you in it. Things ain't aligning the way that you want them to, and it is what it is. Or maybe she isn't doing her part. Mom, that's your son. You have the responsibility of talking to your kid before you bring a person outside of your house into it. You don't just bring random people around your kids before you talk to them first. You have to use discernment and make sure that this person that you're going to be serious with is even worth it in the first place. But you decide that you bring him in. You know that you have a barometer for certain shit. You know what you're going to allow or give him space to do and what you're not. Did you have that conversation? Did you say, all right, I appreciate you being here, but I'm not going to let you be a real father figure to him. You're here for convenience. It looked good on paper to have somebody in here, but I don't really need you to do this and do that. I got it. Did you have that conversation? Did you talk to your son before you brought him in and say, look, I've been talking to this guy for a little bit. I like him. I think I might want to introduce you to him. Did you have the conversations with him about some things are going to change here in the house, and I'm going to need you to do X, Y, and Z or whatever. If you have issues with him, or if I see things that's not right with you, I'm going to give him space to say this to you or not to you. I don't think that happened here. I just think it's all a mess. And yeah, no alignment whatsoever. Personally, he shouldn't even be dealing with her anyway. She should have tried to work it out with her child's father, or maybe she should have waited a little longer to make sure that she was certain that whoever she was going to bring in her life was going to be able to work with her and vice versa. It was going to be reciprocated. I yield the mic. If there's any like closing remarks, anything you want to add to anybody who's thinking about or considering going in that direction, words of encouragement.
Which direction?
And what was that?
I said, which direction?
Oh, if you decide that you want to date somebody who is a single parent, just to get it off your chest, like, so you ain't wasting your time. He or she isn't wasting.
Oh yeah, no, man. I think what I said covered all that. Yeah. I think, run it back. Peep what I said. Those are definitely things that people should be doing. And if it's not working out for you, reach out to a professional. You know what I mean? Because here's one thing I learned today, man, in one of my meetings is in the foster child community, the Black and brown kids, 70-30, we're in the 30. It's getting fostered. So you're talking about step parents. At least you got two parents that are willing to have the conversation about raising the child and not discarding one, but they have to be mature enough to handle their discrepancies so that way they can raise a healthy child. Because one of the things that we tend to think of when we go through our own traumas is that it's probably best to have two parents in the house versus one, which is the worst thing in the world, especially if the two parents ain't on the same page. Because now all you're doing is showing them a toxic relationship. You can have two parents in there. That's great. Now you got two toxic people to learn from versus one. Or to get a break as one person try to figure it out and the other person may have it. So, yeah, I would just say, man, as parents, as adults, we just got to be more responsible, man. Again, it just goes back to mental health. And I can only say this to the men. I'm not talking to the women. Is we got to make sure we look out for each other. We got to make sure we give each other an opportunity, man, to provide a safe space, because having a conversation could help the next person who may think about being a stepfather, who may be a stepfather, may help them and give them some insight on some things that you've been through. So we got to start having these conversations and sharing our experiences. So that's what I'll say is, let's share those experiences, you got fatherhood.org and all that other shit out there, but they don't look out for everybody that's out there. You got men's group that are out there, but they're only faith-based. We need a space where no bullshit, no matter what you've been through, we can talk about it and we can figure it out. And that's why steel sharpens steel. Because you got a lot of tough people out there. You got a lot of people out there that need somebody to talk to. And this is why we say check on your strong friends. So that's why I have the mental health group that I started. And I am not properly prepared to give it to you now. but you can look me up on any platform, and you can share that or not. And we just need to have more conversations like this, man. Again, provide men an opportunity, because a lot of times you only know what you know, and you're a product of your environment. So by exposing you to somebody else who may be able to assist you into maybe changing your words and your jargon a little bit and helping you provide an opportunity to decompress, because they know we so wound up and we so tight. They know we're going to explode. They aren't expecting us to be reserved, to be control of our emotions, and find a way to articulate ourselves to the things that we actually want and need. And that's what they're not expecting, but that's the things that we need to be working on. You got it, Rob.
Oh yeah, and I just reiterate that. Listen, when you play a house, it gets real. We gotta stop thinking with our privates, especially from a male perspective. I don't know how long that takes. It's gonna be a very, 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 very long time. But anytime you feel like you're gonna play family, you're gonna step up, you think long, you need to be thinking long term, and you need to be really willing and ready to take on all of the emotional, the physical responsibilities, because that's why I started teaching, to be honest with you. My life was so tough. I wanted to let the young kids know that you can come from tough environment and still be a stand-up person. You know what I'm saying? So anybody that takes on a young, I don't care how old they are, if you take on those children, if you're not making sure that they have a better chance than you did, then to me, you a sucker. You know what I'm saying? And that's straightforward. So once you take on that kid and be cute for a while, but at the same time, you know, you in that house, it's your job to see to it that those kids are safe, that they have a fighting chance, and that they know that they're not alone. Because that's a lot of the times where we think we got all the answers and we think that nobody feel us. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you be ready, because people change every day, and you don't want to be in a situation where you wake up and you just be like, I don't want to do this no more. Especially when you got the little people looking at you. And then for this case right here, I'm gonna always try to stay focused because I'll be all over the place. But in this case right there, you know, you coming in, you wilding because that's her biological son. They got that bond. At the end of the day, homie, you're not gonna win that fight. You know what I'm saying? You was better off going to the other room, drinking a brew or something. You know what I mean? And wait. Or you know what? I'll sleep on the couch. Y'all can have that, whatever. Because that's not something. It made it look bad. And then at the same time, for the parent, I don't know what you got going on, because you alive and you posted this. You know what I'm saying? So you what? So at the end of the day, you're not all the way right. Neither. You know what I'm saying? And it's just unfortunate that these are the things that we have to do. You know what I'm saying? We gotta do to get the attention. You know what I mean? Like, I think about it every day. Like, all right, what could I do stupid to get people to press the button? Because clearly, just posting this out now, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at people with songs that got 100 million views. I don't even know if it's that much time in the world. You know what 100 million views will do for me right now? You understand what I'm saying? I could be a full-time podcaster with 100 million views. You feel me?
Salute, Rob. Salute.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out Chef Nutty coming in, stepped up, did the thing. To be late is to be on time. You know
right. You know what I mean?
Hey. Listen, when you feel like you want to take on that, stop playing. This, you know what I want to say. We got us, and I'm also speaking to myself. Anytime I'm talking to y'all, I'm talking to myself. Stop playing with people. We got to stop playing, thinking that we got all the answers. And we get together for 2 weeks and this is the person and this and that, because like I said, after a while, it can be a week or two. It could be 2 years. You wake up and you be like, man, this ain't me. And you kind of set yourself up for failure. So, you know, lay everything on the table. Be honest with your likes, with your dislikes, with your, you know what I mean? That needs to be known. And then be ready to sacrifice, because you're not going to always have your day. And my dog, DJ Renato, shout out Power 97D in Tallahassee, and that radio, he said, yo, every day ain't gonna be sunny. And I used to be like, bro, what is you talking about? You know what I'm saying, man? Every day ain't gonna be sunny. You gotta take the good with the bad. It took me a long time. So, you know, listen, we gotta stop playing. And if you're gonna do that, be ready for the sacrifices, because you're gonna have to make them.
Facts.
Well said on both sides, man. Salutes to both of you guys for tonight's show. Salutes to Chef G14 Classified in the building. More success, more power, more strength to the brothers, man. Let's keep running it up.
Hey, yo, you get my message? Y'all get my message? That's what I thought you was talking about. You see what time it is, right?
Yeah, all day. Yeah, all day. I'm sharing that. The mental health. Like I said, let me know how I can link anything mental health, anything positive, anything solution oriented. If I can help, I got you.
Yo, hey, look. Hey, so look, man. You're looking for sponsors, man. We're looking for sponsors for the Arena League football team out here in San Antonio, Texas. Creed, check your box, baby. I already sent you that. Yeah, so that just got announced today, and then we have a press conference in April. So, but you know what I mean? Definitely y'all in the area, pull up. But we're gonna look out to doing some stuff, man. Sponsors. So let me know, Rob, tap in, hit me, let me know what your program look like. And I'll see if we can link some stuff up. Then Creed, like I said, we'll talk about it, because on the other thing, I'm working with some foster kids and doing some different things with the men's mental health. So I'm gonna tap in with you so we can see if you can, not sponsor, but maybe conversate, negotiate, and MC a couple of events for us, and we can do it virtually. You know what I mean? That way we can tap in and move this thing a little bit forward. You know what I'm saying? Combine our resources. You know.
That's a bet.
For sure. For sure.
All right, man. I'm gonna let y'all get up off here and get back to y'all business. You know what I'm saying? Y'all enjoy y'all night. Drive safe if you're going on the road. I'm about to get back. I gotta get my intros and my outros readjusted, man. I got a lot of stuff going on, but you're gonna see some new stuff coming real soon, man. Be on the lookout. I'm working. All right, but we're gonna chop it up, man. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all evening. Do me a solid before you go.
What's the goddamn button?
Peace.